So this is really hard for me to record and even to be in front of a camera because I never like to be the face of anything. I never thought that I was gonna be doing this, but I think it's very important for people to know and to hear my testimony finding Jesus because it's so real and I if everyone knew what's at stake, I think all of us would want to find him and repent to him. Um, I know there's going to be some people that might judge me and think I'm this fool recording myself talking to people online about Jesus, but I really don't care. I don't care if I look like a fool, honestly. Um, as long as God knows that I'm doing this because I want to glorify Him and I want people to find Him and I want people to realize who He is. I don't care how other people see me, honestly. I guess I will start with a little bit of my past. Um, I've never been like this outgoing person or anything like that. I've always been very shy. Um, I feel like that shyness kind of led me to wanting to fit in, I guess, a little bit with people. And so I started drinking very young, very, very young. I started partying, sneaking out, doing all those things that kids do. Um, I think that drinking got to a point where, really fast, got to a point where I wouldn't just drink to have one or two drinks. I would drink to black out every single time. And when you're in that state of mind or in that environment, you don't care. You don't care what you do. You don't care if you hurt people. You don't care about yourself. You don't care about your body. You don't care at all. And I felt like I was trying to find something, and I thought like the drinking would fill that void. I thought that experimenting with things would fill my void, I guess. Um, what that it never did. Um, I, I, I was a bad person. I didn't care. I only care about myself, but not really, because I only care of what I wanted, and I didn't care if other people were hurt. But at the same time, I didn't care about myself because I was drinking, partying every night. I didn't care about my parents. I know I hurt my mom a lot, and I hurt my dad too. Um, at one point, it got to like a physical altercation with my mom, which I totally regret it. I would obviously if I was in the right mindset, I would never have done it. Um, yeah, that's kind of like the background of my bad decisions, my alcohol, all those bad things. And then once I got with my husband, um, I saw things different. I saw this other life that I could have had. And it kind of like the regret was, you guys don't even understand, like I regretted everything I did before. The guilt was the feeling is horrible. Honestly, that guilt that you carry is, it's that guilt that I carried was horrible. I hated myself for the decisions that I did in the past. I couldn't forget myself. I couldn't forgive myself. And it was like an everyday thing, like thinking to myself, look at you, look what you did, you're so dumb, you should have known better, you should have not done this, you look at yourself, you know, all those thoughts would come into my head and I would feel like disgusting. I was disgusted with myself. I hated myself. I did. Like, I felt like dirty, I felt gross, I felt very unworthy because I had lost my dad and I had made a promise to him that I never did it. So that was really heavy on my heart. I hated myself for that because I should have known better. My dad was sick at the time. He had cancer. And I told him, I'm gonna be there for you. I want to take care of you. And I didn't. I chose to party. I chose to drink. I chose to do a million other things, but be there for my dad. And that was one of the things that I couldn't let go for the longest time. And it hurt me so bad. It hurt me. I couldn't get over it. I hated myself for that. Like, when I tell you I hated myself, I did. I didn't like myself. Anyways, fast forward to, I guess not fast forward, but something that has always had happen in my life. I always had dreams of very realistic dreams. I would have dreams and they would come true. I would have dreams of random, like super random things, and they would come true. Some of them were good, some of them were really horrible. One of the dreams that I had before, it was about my daughter. Before I had her, I saw her face. I saw her, and it was like my heart was just like exploding because I saw my daughter before I even had her. But I would have horrible dreams, and I was always scared of those dreams. Every time I would have a dream, I would be scared because I was wondering if it was going to come true or not. One of those dreams that I had, it was me walking next to Jesus. I was not the last person behind. I was not in the middle. I was right next to him. I was walking right next to him, and there's a bunch of people in the back following him. But I was right next to him. I had that dream a few times. And every time I would wake up, I would be so heartbroken because I wanted that so bad. But the enemy would get in my head and tell me, you'll never be there with him. You're a sinner. Look at your past. Look what you've done. Who are you? God, like, Jesus doesn't love you. That's what I would hear. Like, what makes you think that you're going to be walking next to him? Come on. And that hurt me so bad. Every time I would have that dream, it would break me Because deep inside, I wanted to. And I knew I was meant to be there with him. But I couldn't shake off my past. I've always had dreams like that. Some of them were very like straightforward to the point. This is what's going to happen. And some of them I kind of had to like dig around and see what they meant. But I had always had dreams like that. I remember when I was younger, I had this sleep paralysis, I guess, if you want to say. I was awake, but my body couldn't move. I was trying to, I couldn't yell, I couldn't talk, I couldn't do nothing. So I'm trying to scream out, Mom, Mom, help me. And nothing would come out of my voice. I couldn't talk at all. And I would hear this voice inside of me tell me, she's not gonna hear you. Like, it's just this voice kept going around and around. And then I started praying, and then this voice was saying very loud, why are you praying? They're not gonna hear you. They're not gonna hear you. Stop praying. Stop praying. I don't know how long that went, like, but I was torture. I was torture, and I was very young. And I finally was able to say, Mom. And my mom came into my room, and I told her what happened. So I ended up sleeping over in my parents' bed. And I had things like that happen to me so many times. Like, I've had dreams where, like, literally it's torture. It's torturing. I would see, this is so crazy, but I would be sleeping. I knew I was sleeping, but I guess my spirit was awake, and I could see the room, and I would see a witch just right in front of me, like just staring at me, like, and I would just, every night I would just pray and pray, but this witch would just like stare at me, and they're terrorizing you at night. And I would wake up sweating, restless, like, they're not nightmares like your usually nightmares. They were horrible, like terrorizing things happening. And I've always had them ever since, like, I can remember. With this whole thing happening last year, I felt like everything just shifted for me. I got super depressed, but my depression would come and go, come and go. And so I guess I kind of knew a little bit of the law of attraction, and I kind of was like, I don't know, like listening to like how to do it. I would, I guess, kind of start practicing it myself. I would get, I got into crystals. I got into saging my house. I got to do like a bunch of other things, and not knowing that those are ways that you're opening the door to this unclean spirits to come into your house and into you. I thought I was doing good. I thought that I was saging my house, cleansing it. I thought that by me holding this crystal would help me with my anxiety. I thought that I could be my own God. I thought all of those things. And honestly, they have some truth to it, but they're forgetting the one element. Like, they're forgetting that you can do all of this but through Jesus. You can't do it by other forces. This is what the enemy does. It tells you 9 truths, but 1 lie. And so when you see all of this, you're like, oh, it's innocent things. I'm just holding a rock. I'm just saging my house. I'm just listening to this. I got really, really into listening to this person that it's so into like this new age, Abraham Hicks. Um, she would channel this other beings, and just like her voice was so calming, her voice was so convincing, and everything she would say, do it with grace, do this, do that. it it sounds so good. It sounds so good, you know? So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm doing this because, everyone's doing it, and it's harmless. I thought it was harmless. um, I even got my daughter into saging her room and picking out crystals for herself. That's how like I so into it I started reading books about reincarnation. I started reading books about this book that I had. It was about your 7 human supernatural powers, and it talked about like prana and all this other stuff, not knowing that those are evil spirits, not knowing that. So I'm reading all about this, and I can go on and on and on about all of that stuff, but that is a form of witchcraft, and I didn't know I was doing that. And what people have to realize is that those spirits come when you open the door for them, and that's a way. That's a way. Watching scary movies, listening to some type of music. I don't. There's so many other ways that you opening, drinking, doing drugs, doing all those things. They open doors for these unclean spirits to come into your life. And I was doing that all my life. Can you imagine all this 30 years of my life? I collected many, 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 many things, and they were hiding inside of me. This past, I want to say 5-6 months were horrible in my life. Like I said, I've had depression like back and forth, but you could usually shake it off and be like, okay, snap out of it. It's not a big deal, go out with your friends, whatever. And they would, your depression would be like, oh, it's not a big deal. But this time I couldn't shake it off. I could not shake it off. And it got so bad. It got to the point where when I was driving, these thoughts would get in my head and would tell me, why don't you just drive off this bridge? Why don't you just crash into this car that's coming the opposite way? So some thoughts that were not mine. I remember like chopping some food, having a knife in my hand, and just thinking, why don't you just throw it to your husband? What kind of like thinking is that? Those are not your thoughts. Those are the enemy's thoughts telling you to do those things. When I tell you it got really bad, it got really bad. I was being attacked every single night. I couldn't sleep. I would wake up super tired, exhausted, because I couldn't rest at night. I would wake up sweating, with heart palpitations because the dreams were so horrible. I stopped working out, and I loved working out. I would get up at 4 in the morning to go to a 5 a.m. class to work out. That's how much I liked just taking care of myself in a way, and I stopped doing that. I would just eat junk food. I was not craving anything, and junk food, whatever was there, was just what I was gonna eat. It was really bad. It got to the point where seeing my daughter was not even bringing me joy, happiness, or anything. I would just see her and I would have no feeling towards her. How horrible is that? It got so bad that I was literally to the point to text my sister and tell her, please look out for my daughter and be there for her, because I didn't think I was gonna make it. I was about to do that. And when I tell you, this whole time was such a hell, it was such a hell. Everything around me was like, everything, my friends, my family, everything was just such a mess. I would see marriages be destroyed. It was hell. I'm not like, it was hell. And I thought my marriage was gonna be next. I was set on it. I was set on it that I was gonna be next. That my marriage was never gonna last. That I was just gonna be like the other people around me. I don't know. I guess all of this, like, I don't even have words to explain how bad it was. Somehow, I don't want to say somehow, but I think God led me to find this person on YouTube. I just started to listening to him preach, and I couldn't understand how someone had so much fire for God, because I'd never seen it before. I grew up Catholic church. Catholic mass is so boring. You're literally just there listening, and that's it, you know. Like, there's no passion, there is no emotion, there is no this praising the Lord, nothing like that. So I never, like, in my life have seen anything like it. And he preaches a lot about deliverance, like casting out this unclean spirits in your body. And so he would preach on it, and he would pray for people. And every time I would listen to his videos, I would start manifesting. Like, literally, I would start like burping. I would start being like all these things, like in my head, like, he's lying, who is he, he's lying, what, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, all of these things were in my head, and I'm like, no, I know there's something in him that is telling the truth. And so I would listen to his videos, and every time like, I would start manifesting, up until this one time he did a video with someone else, and they were casting out, like, they were saying, spirit of this, leave this person's body. And when I tell you, like, I started full on manifesting, it was crazy. I started like burping, I started rocking, I started just like, crazy things were coming out of me. I threw up. Like, those are the ways that they come out. Like, these unclean spirits come out. So I threw up. They were saying, I demand healing in their body, and I felt healing in my body. I don't, like, a lot of people don't understand that this is how God wants you to live: free, healthy, fearless. Well, anyways, like, after seeing this and after feeling the difference, that one time, literally that same night, I went to bed and I cried to God, and I repented, and I told him I was really sorry for everything I've done in my life, for not seeking him, that I should have known better, but I was really weak and I hated myself. And I had so much inside of me that I wouldn't let go. And that self-forgiveness is the hardest thing to let go. That was the hardest thing for me to let go. to forgive myself. So I cried out to God. I couldn't stop crying. I could not stop crying. And I told him I'm sorry. And I asked him to deliver me tonight. Fully deliver me. Fill me with the Holy Ghost. I told him, anoint me. Do everything to me. I want it all because I know how good you are. I told him, I will do your will. I will do anything you ask me to do. And I don't know. I cried and cried and cried until I fell asleep. And then that night, I felt something like punch me, like in my heart, or come out of me. I don't know what it was, but it was this thing that I was sleeping, and literally I felt it and took my breath away. And then I felt like light. I felt everything come out of me. I felt so light, so peaceful. And then I felt like the Holy Spirit come in me. I felt so light, so peaceful. This love that came inside of me was like nothing I ever felt before. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It took everything, like every single cell in my body was filled with love. I can't explain it because it's not the love you have for your brother, your sister, your daughter, your spouse. It was like this immense love. And of course I cried. And I cried and I cried and I cried. And then that morning when I woke up, like that morning, and I want to say like 3, 4, 5 days after, I was just like, because I asked God and gave me patience. I asked him for everything. I told him, make me new. Make me new. I told him, give me patience. Please let me see what other people can't see. I asked God for everything. I'm not lying. So that morning when I woke up, like I felt so light. Even my tone of voice changed. I had so much love for everyone. I was so patient, so calm. It was like I was a new person. And like literally, like I felt like I was on a cloud. I just felt like, I don't know, like vibrating, so light. And I had no fear. I had no worry. I had nothing of everything that I carried left. And since then, I've been sleeping peacefully every single night. No more attacks. And he's been talking to me. I know he's been talking to me. I want to believe he's been talking to me because that whole week that I went, like that happened to me, I've never read the Bible. I never like know how to like study it or anything, because in the Catholic Church they don't. Well, I never experienced that. So I would get this thought in my head, and it would tell me, like it would come up, say search this, and I, like in the middle of the night, I'm sleeping, I'm in my dreams, I'm sleeping, and then I hear this, search this. So I wake up, I go grab my phone, and I search it, and it's a message from God. It's letting me know what I needed to hear that night. And it's just so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And I'm like, I don't even know if this is the right thing. I don't even know how to search for things. And I just wrote what I heard to write on my phone. So every night I pray, every day I pray, like when I tell you my mind is consumed by him, it is. That's all I think about every single day. Every single day, every single minute. I'm thinking, I want to learn, I want to know you, because for the longest time, I didn't. I didn't know him. And you know what? It's one of the things that, like, I realized how not connected I was to him, that I didn't even acknowledge him, is when I was going through this horrible depression. I didn't even, there's people that are going through the worst time in their life, and they curse God, saying, God, what are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? And they curse him, but at least they're acknowledging him. I never did that. I never once thought of him. That's how much I was so disconnected with him. Not once I thought about him. Not once I thought about saying, God, why is this happening to me? Not once him came into my mind. Can you believe that? I cannot believe that. That's how far along, like, that's how lost I was. Well, anyways, so I've been watching, I'm gonna say his name, Isaiah, because God is working through him. So I've been watching his videos. And it was with that week where all of these things were happening, and God was speaking to me and everything. And then I started praying over my husband and my daughter. And I asked God, please help him see you. Please deliver him. Please, I don't know how, but make him realize that he needs you in his life. I started praying over my daughter, and then over my husband, because I couldn't sleep because I was getting all of these revelations, and I was searching things on my phone, and I was like, whoa, I never heard this before, and it's like it would just feel my heart. So I was praying over my husband, and this thought came into my head: you need to call out this demon. You need to call out this demon. And I was just saying, no, what? No, I can't deliver no one. Like, I've seen it, and I'm like, I don't know, you know. So I started praying over my husband, and then I laid my hand on his head, and I was praying, and I called it out, and I'm like, you have no power in my marriage anymore. You have no power in my husband. He is my husband, not yours. So I started, I don't know what I was saying. I was praying. But see, I've never prayed before, so I didn't even know how to pray. But somehow I knew what to say. And I said, you have no power in this marriage anymore. You have to leave now. That's what I was saying. My husband was sleeping, no clue. All of a sudden, he starts like saying, no, no, in his sleep. In his sleep. He had no clue this was happening. And I'm like, most people would be afraid and be like, what is happening? I was not afraid, because I'm like, I've been dealing with you my whole life. You don't scare me anymore. You don't scare me anymore. I've been dealing with you my whole life. And so I started praying, and then my husband got so restless. I don't know how long this went. And I just prayed until my husband was so restless. And then he woke up and he went to the bathroom, and then I didn't tell him anything. So he went back to sleep. And then the next morning he told me, I don't know, last night, like, I don't know what happened. And he's like, was scratching himself. And he's like, he had a skin tag. And he's like, I like ripped it off and I started bleeding. And I was like, dude, I told him that was it's like the demon manifesting. Like, you don't even know that was happening, but it's so real, you guys. Like, it's more real that we know, like, we could understand. I that night, that week, like I asked God for everything, everything, literally. So one of those nights, I felt something, um, and I'm like, I was like, there's no way, like no. Um, I'm like, this thing that was out here woke me up at 3 in the morning again. And I was like, no. I'm like, you woke me up, be ready for a fight because I'm gonna give it to you. So I started praying, praying, and praying, and praying, and praying. I don't. It was like until like literally I prayed until the sun came up, and I was able to finally fall asleep. After that, I'm like, I'm not gonna give you. I'm not gonna give it to you. You want to fight? I'll give you a fight, and that's what I said. And since then, like I've had dreams of me delivering people, of me setting people free of everything that they've been through. Like, I want to share with you guys something that happened recently because it really just like filled my heart. So, this it was this whole day. I thought this thought in my head, like I keep praying. I'm like, God, please show my husband, because I know he needs you. And like, show him something. And I know he's the type of person that he he will not believe until he sees. That's that's just how it is, right? So I told him, God, please heal his knee, heal his knee, so he can see that you can do it. All day, I pray to God all day. And finally, like I was getting ready for bed. I was washing my face and whatnot, and then I just heard it again in my head. Search John 14:14. Again, I've never read the Bible, so I didn't know if that was a thing or not. And it said, anything you ask in my name, I will do it for you. That just, like, I don't know. I couldn't hold my tears. I was just saying, what? What? You're speaking to me? I feel like so unworthy, like saying, who am I for you to talk to me? To tell me yes, that you will do it for me. You just have to ask. Oh, my heart was just like, I don't know. It was, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, because I had that night when I talked to God, when I asked Him, I'm like, I told Him, I don't know how to pray. I don't know anything. This is just like, I was very lost without you. And all of this, like, I found you. And I want all of it. And I need all of it. But you just have to tell me, explain to me, because I don't know. I'm like a child. You need to tell me yes or no. You need to spell it out for me because I'm still new. I don't know. And so this is the way he's been talking to me, because I don't know how else am I gonna hear him, you know? And when he told me to search John 14:14, that just like that did it for me. I'm like, I told him, God, I will do anything you want me to do. This is your will. This is not mine. I'll do anything. And so when I knew I needed to do this, I'm like, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna put myself in front of a camera, talk to random people? I don't know if anyone's gonna see this. I don't know if one person, or I don't know. I don't know if people are gonna be talking behind my back and saying, what a fool. What a fool, like, talking about Jesus, right? Talking about her story. But I don't care if I look like a fool. As long as God knows. As long as God knows. I really don't care if I look like a fool, because I think we need more of this. More people knowing that he's real. And that he will do things for you too. You just have to say his name. He has never left you. He died for you. Those are the things that I keep telling him, like, I'm not as strong as you. You gave your own son to die for me, to die for all of us, even for the alcoholic, even for the murderer, even for all those people that probably don't deserve it, right? So we think they don't. I said I could never do what you did. I could not give my only daughter to save everyone. I'm not that strong. I'm not that merciful. I just want to say that it's never too late. It's never too late. But you have to do it. Everything depends on it. Like, you have to ask him for forgiveness. I told him, you were there for me when I called out for you. So I'll be there for you whenever you need me. For whatever big or small it is. I'm gonna be there for you. I'm gonna do it. Whatever you ask me. Even if it's to look like a fool and cry in front of a camera and tell everyone my story. If that's all you ask for me, then that's what I will do. But if you ask for more, then I will do it too. I've been so consumed by him, like, it's so crazy. I I I want to know everything about him. Like, I want to know him. I want to know him. I feel him. I know he's with me. He's been talking to me. But I don't want to be that person that just runs to him and ask him for things and be, God, do this for me. God, do this for me. Because he will do it. But that's not all he wants. He wants a relationship with you. He wants you to love him, to acknowledge him, to say thanks. I don't know if this makes sense to people or not, but I do want to say, like, in my whole depression, it was really bad. And I was really isolated. And that's what the enemy wants you to believe. That no one can understand you. That no one is ever gonna know what you're going through. Like, they don't know you. They don't know what you've been through. What? They can't relate to you. You better not tell them. Keep it all to yourself. Eat it up. make you feel worse. That's what he wants. He wants to destroy you. Because he knows who you are. He knows the power that you have. He knows the power that God has given you. And he wants to destroy you. That's so real, you guys. Please be careful what you let in your heart, in your mind, in your home, in your children, in your marriage. The enemy is just looking for that tiny little crack on the window for him to get in and destroy you. Doesn't take much, you guys. I just hope that, I don't know, I just hope that, I don't know if I said everything I wanted to say, but I just hope that at least this video makes you realize that God is real. He's here. He's never left you. You can hear him, you can listen to him, but you have to look for him. I just know that this is my beginning journey with him. I'm just starting to walk with him. And that dream that I had, that the enemy lied to me saying that I would never walk with Christ. It wasn't true. It wasn't true because I am walking with Christ. And he loves me. And he never forgot about me. You guys, I should have done so many, died so many times. When I tell you, I did stupid things. I drank myself to almost death. I should have died so many times. I was so reckless. But God was there. Somehow, I survived so many things. He never forgot about me. He hasn't forgot about you. You are worthy. He tells us all the time, you're worthy. I died for you. What makes you think you're not worthy if I gave my own son for you? What makes you think you're not worthy? And I guess I kind of struggled with that my whole life. Who am I, I don't know. But I found it. I found it in him. I found the love that I was craving, that nothing else would fulfill it. I found it in him. I felt so much love that night that I couldn't explain it to you, that I realized that his love is all I ever needed. That the love that my daughter gives me, that's extra, and it makes me feel so good. The love that my husband gives me, that's extra, and that makes me feel extra good. That the love my family give me, that's extra, and it makes me feel amazing. But his love is the only thing I needed. The only thing that I was missing. And he fulfilled my heart with his love. I've seen so many people walking around, and I can just see how empty they are. And I just want to tell them, you don't have to live like this. You do not have to live like this. God is there. God is waiting for you to turn around and say, God, I'll give it all. Take it all away. Seeing people like that kind of hurts me, because I'm like, I was you. I was broken, I was hurt, I was lost, I was selfish, I was everything you could think of. And I feel like looking, if you knew me then, you kind of understand, but looking at me now, you're like, you could never, like, I never see you being like that. I'm like, because that wasn't me. I knew I wasn't supposed to be like that. But I let things take over me and make bad decisions for me and be very impulsive to things that I didn't want to do. I don't know. I just want to say, again, it's never too late. It's never too late. I don't know how to pray, but I do want to say something. I just want to say, God, please, whoever is watching this video, please let him find you. Show them how good you are. Show them the life, the plans that you have for them, not the plans of the enemy. Show them how worthy they are. Show them how loving you are. I ask you to shower them in your love. In the name of Jesus. I don't know. I don't know how to pray. I'm still learning. Everything is very new to me. But this was hard for me to say. And I've tried recording this video many times. And I couldn't. But today's the day. And I hope that today is a day that you call for him. So you call his name. And say, Jesus, help me. I've been lost without you. He's there. He's always been there. I knew I was gonna get emotional, but man. Well, I think I'm gonna end it here, and I really just pray that this is the calling for you. To choose God, because he chose you already. I really do hope that whoever's watching this video will turn their life around and find him, because he will do whatever you want him to do, whatever you ask. He will do it. He will heal you. He will forgive you. He will take the pain away. He will take your addiction away. He will take all the guilt away. All the hurt, all the anger. He will take it away. And you will become a new person. All the unworthy feeling that you have inside, he will take it away. Okay, he has said it many times before. You are worthy. All that rejection that you feel in your heart, he will take it away. All the pain, all the suffering, He will take it away. I guess I'll leave here now. I love all of you guys. I love all of you guys. And I just want you guys to realize and feel his love and know him and look for him and cry out to him because he's listening. I love you, every single one of you, and this is my testimony of finding God. Finding Jesus and finding my life in him and finding my walk with him. And I know this is just my beginning with him. I love every single one of you. And I will pray tonight for every single one of you. That whatever your heart is desiring, that God would come through for you. Whatever it is, God will come through for you tonight. Whatever it is, big or small. Trust me. Trust me on that. He will come through. Alright, you guys. This is the end. This is the end of my testimony. Thanks for watching.